What's going on,
Yes.
AIM Squad?
Welcome back, AIM Squad, for another week of football.
That's it. Post Thanksgiving,
Yep.
post Black Friday, post Cyber Monday. We are into week 14.
But what a week 13 we have.
Oh man. Lots of good football.
Lots of good football, lots of ups and downs. A lot of scenarios for who's making playoffs, who's
Yeah.
not there. Are you a contender? Are you a pretender? Are you playing spoiler? This is the next couple of weeks is going to be crunch time. But
It
last
is.
week made a clear picture of what's about to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you still have a lot of those teams who are technically, like the 8-3s that have almost a guaranteed chance, but it's not 100% yet.
No,
Like anything could go, and I think the next couple of weeks will be an indication of
Yes, it
what
will.
actually happens from here.
Correct.
But let's get it started here. So let's close out Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Let's close it all out. So coming into Sunday football for Thanksgiving weekend, Alnoor, you were 14, 19, and 3. I was slightly above 500, 17, 16, and 3. And we had 3 games lined up. So let's start with the first game. We had the Texans visiting Jacksonville.
Yep.
Spread was -3.5 for Houston. We both called -3.5, but we missed it
By how much?
by 0.5 of a point.
God damn, that division game.
0.5 of a point. Like, this was Jacksonville coming out and just saying, hey, you know what? Spoiler.
It was a backdoor cover.
Yeah, it was. It was the worst.
Lawrence got injured quick. He had that nasty hit. Prayers out to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they took him out of the game. Backup quarterback came in. Houston was up, and then in the fourth quarter, just forgot to play defense. Was like, hey, why don't you cover the spread? It's like they covered themselves. They
Yeah.
bet on themselves to cover.
But I also feel like based on that hit to, Lawrence, I think there was a little bit of, like animosity that Jackson
sure.
was like, you know what? You hit my quarterback. I'm not letting you forget this.
Yeah, we're gonna score points. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't help the better side. But hey, Houston took the loss there.
By 0.5.
0.5,
Ah.
got the win, didn't cover the spread, but it's okay. That was the early window. Then we had a good game for the second one.
It was a solid, another divisional.
Yep.
It's a very bitter rivalry with these guys. It was Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati. I had called Pittsburgh +3, although you called Cincy -3. Obviously, it was a back and forth.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be a back and forth. Luckily, I was able to hit.
Yeah.
I covered the +3. In fact, not only did I cover, Pittsburgh actually won the game.
Yeah.
Allner not so great at that one. What was your key takeaway there?
Cincinnati was playing for their playoff lives. They came out,
Yeah.
they showed out, and then a couple of key mistakes. Burrow just couldn't hold the football. Just the team wasn't orchestrated to play how they should have been playing, and it's December football. They should be playing amazing.
Yeah.
Burrow has a good record, it's Pittsburgh, but hey, he just didn't show out, and towards the end, the firepower was there in the second half, but it was a little too late.
It was.
And there you go, Pittsburgh came out, and they're like, hey, don't forget about us. We got Mike Tomlin as our coach.
And they played, they essentially parked the bus near the end of
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? They just made sure that since he didn't have a chance to come back.
Nothing.
And that was a wrap. So, Pittsburgh got the win.
There you go.
Thanksgiving weekend. So, Pittsburgh, by just definition, covered the +3. So, that was the second game of the window.
Yeah.
And then our final potential, what could have been a Super Bowl matchup,
Yes, correct.
which is the San Francisco 49ers in a very chilly,
Snow game. Snow Bowl.
very snowy,
Yep.
very cold Buffalo Bills game, and it was Bills Mafia showed up. I'll give them credit. Now we both called San Francisco +6, and technically, not technically, we lost.
Yes.
We lost. We didn't cover. But I think the big news here is, of course, why we didn't cover could be potentially of a big headline, which is C-Mac
Yeah.
getting injured
Again.
IR.
Like the way they made him play, I feel like it was in a tough situation for him to go play in the snow.
Yeah.
Slippery, coming off a ACL, MCL injury of your leg. All you do is run.
Yeah.
One slip up on a cutback could ruin it, and that's exactly what happened.
I agree.
He ran it, made a little sharp cut. The snow let him, slip a little, and it pulled the muscle, and that was it. He fell down out of the game. And then you had Mason, the running backup coming too. He also got injured midway through,
Yeah.
so you had nobody. Even the game itself too, they just could not hold on to the football.
No.
You see Brock Purdy trying to throw, couldn't even throw the football. The ball
Couldn't.
just would let it go his hand.
Yeah.
He had that one fumble where he just put his hand back and just lost the ball.
Yeah.
And San Francisco didn't look like a team
No.
that has been the San Francisco 49ers that we all know of.
Yep.
And I think they just lost their chance for their playoffs.
I think so.
I think they're just going to be the bottom feed, and they're just going to sit there and just going to have to regroup for next year and make sure they're all healthy and go from there.
I agree. I think this is a surprise bust for this year for the 49ers coming in to be top 3 contenders.
To be at the bottom of your division right now, too.
Like, this is pretty sad. Now, of course, C-Mac getting injured, I think only brought up a good point. Like, the fact that it was snowy, coming off an ACL, like, I personally tore my ACL twice. And the reality of it is even if you're playing it on a court, you have it's a quick cutting game.
Mm-hmm.
To have a quick cut game like football, to have, your impact from somebody else in those very vulnerable positions, and then you add slippery weather to that.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, if you're not going to tear a ligament just from, like, cutting on the snow without any impact, I don't know what will. And for someone who, for C-Mac, was this game 4, game 5 since he's been back?
Yeah, 3 or 4,
3,
yeah.
like, it hasn't been anything double digits. I'm not surprised this happened, to be honest, right? It's sad because he was undisputed number 1 or number 2 in most fantasy drafts.
Yep.
All analysts had him.
Yeah.
It was a tough thing, but unfortunately, we lost him and we lost the cover.
That's
so,
it.
It was tough. Prayers out to C-Mac and the rest of San Francisco, but San Francisco didn't cover this time. So, Alnoor, we finished this week on a lower record.
Yes.
So, Alnoor finished 0-3.
Yeah, not a dub this week.
Not a dub. I fortunately finished 1-2, so I was able to salvage something, which leads our new records for Sunday night to be Alnoor, you're 14, 22-3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an even 500
All right.
at 18-3. But we have some good news.
We have some good news.
So, starting off with Anytime TD.
Let's go, Irshad. Tell them what we had.
So, we had Joe Mixon, Anytime TD, 1.5 times your unit. He hit.
Money Mixon. We called it last week. We said it. He's been amazing for us.
He has.
Been making money for us. Money Mixon.
Yeah, single-handedly, Mixon has hit Anytime TD for us, 3 or 4 times this season. Thank you, Joe Mixon.
There you
Appreciate you. And then we had our 3-leg parlay.
Yes.
Alnoor, what do we have?
This was a big one. We had over 2.5 field goals combined in the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game.
Yep.
We had over 2.5 field goals made for the Chargers and Atlanta Falcons game, which also hit, which we had to wait till 4 o'clock game. We had Derrick Henry rushing over 70 yards, which that also hit 3 times your unit. We finally got a break, got Anytime TD, and our parlay hit too. We've been hoping, our parlay's been short by like 1 couple of yards here and there, but last week it pulled through for us.
The field goals, Derrick Henry, thank God.
Thank God.
3 times your unit.
Yes.
Big hit.
Big hit, because we ate. Hope you guys tailed us and ate too.
Yeah, we definitely offset all the losses in the day, so that was a huge one, which brings our fantasy. Mm-hmm. So, we had Murray as our quarterback.
Yeah.
15.2 points.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. Now our running backs, Money Mixon.
Yeah.
And Kyron Williams.
Yeah, they both played amazing.
Solid games, 21.9 and 18.3 respectively. Wide receiver.
Yeah.
JJ.
There we go.
And Sutton. Mediocre game.
Yeah.
Not the worst, not the best. 16.9 and 16.2 respectively. Who were the last 3?
Hunter Henry came out. That was a good call you had last week too.
Yeah.
Tight end, 14.5 points. That was big too. Our defense kind of, went down a little.
Yeah.
1 point by Houston. That was because of the backdoor cover from Jacksonville that caught us there.
Yeah.
Our kicker, Dicker, came out for the Chargers. Hence our parlay hit too. Kicked so many field goals.
Thank you.
Loved it there. And that totaled us to about 116 points overall.
Yeah.
Which is not bad.
No.
We've always said here, we try to pass the century mark. It's not the all-time highest, not the second or third, but we passed the century mark.
We did. I mean, I think our all-time high for those who've been tuning in is 175 or something like that. So we definitely have we want to repeat that success in the coming weeks, but over the century mark, we got it.
We're happy with that. There we go.
So there you go, folks. That is a wrap on Thanksgiving / Black Friday / Cyber Monday football. That's it for 2024 holiday weekend football. We're now into week 14. This is, only like you mentioned, where the pretenders or contenders come out to play. Like, who's actually going to take over into the playoff spot, sneak in on that back door to get in that wild card position.
Yeah, or who's spoiling someone's chance to get there.
Exactly. Who's going to make it difficult? and this is where we're at. So let's kick Week 14 off. Our records for Thursday Night Football.
Yes.
Alnoor, you're 9-6.
Yeah.
Thursdays have not been kind to me.
Yes.
I'm 4-11. So for tomorrow's game, we have the Green Bay Packers
Yes.
versus the very strong Detroit Lions.
Another divisional game.
Another divisional game, big one. Detroit's favored currently at -3. So, Alnoor, I'm going to throw it to you first for your AIM Sports analysis as to which game you're taking, or which team you're playing and taking.
Yeah.
And there, thank you, which team you're taking and why.
This looks like a tricky game here. So we had Green Bay and Detroit both play last week during Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Green Bay came off a win against Miami. They covered the spread. Detroit played against the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
And Detroit has not won a Thanksgiving game. They came on and won, but they did not cover the spread, only won by 3.
Yeah.
This spread here, 3, is very suspicious. Why is Detroit at home versus Green Bay only favored by 3 when they just beat them by 10 points in Green Bay a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Now you sit here and ask why. Well, we'll tell you why. We have Mr. Third Player, John Hussey. John Hussey, when he officiates, is lights out.
Yeah.
He loves the home team. Home teams are what, 91, 41, and against money line?
Nearly times 2.
Times 2. That's just on the money line. You go into the spread, he's 80, 47, and 5 against the spread since 2016.
Yeah.
Now, on a betting perspective, yes, a lot of publics won the previous week. A lot of home teams won, especially on the Thursday last week. But you have John Hussey, who just officiated the Browns-Denver game.
Yeah.
Denver came on and put on a show. They covered that spread there. Now he's going to go into Detroit with the hottest team in football right now, the Detroit Lions, who have never had an 11-1 season.
Yeah.
Going into it, I think they're going to make it 12-1 because they cannot afford this loss. They want home field advantage from the NFC.
Yeah.
A loss here, and I'm not saying like they're not cover the spread, but I'm just saying if they don't cover the spread by 3, usually games are 3 or 7 points or 4. That's one possession of how football is. I don't feel Detroit will allow Green Bay to overcome them. And I think Detroit is going to run away with this. I don't think it's going to be remotely close.
Yep.
You have a lot of players from Green Bay that are not playing, especially in the defensive side. You have the strongest corner not playing, right, Alexander. So Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to eat. Laporta's going to eat. Williams going to eat. Gibbs from the back is going to eat too.
Yeah.
Even though he leaked plays, but hey, that's maybe a difference. But I don't see that happening.
Yep.
I think Detroit continues their amazing run this year. Going to go 12-1. And a couple more wins, and they secure home field advantage.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go Lions.
All right, so you're taking that cover?
Taking that cover, -3.
All right, easy. I mean, -3. I mean, one thing I'll say, I think this line is probably one of the better suited lines I've seen in Vegas. I think -3 is a perfect line. I guess I get it. Vegas is Vegas for a reason. I get it. But you know what? Oh, I think you brought some good things. I mean, John Hussey, like heavy favorites on the home for sure. But let's get into some of the analysis here. So, at least from what I'm seeing, Love and Goff have played each other a few times. All 3 times the road team got the win and covered. Okay. So in this case, it favors Love for sure. However, favorites overwhelmingly win on Thursday night games.
Yeah.
Okay. So they are 53-18 straight up. Against the spread of 38-33. So now on the money line, favorites in general are winning by nearly 6 points.
Yes.
6 points, which based on this, by this definition, you're technically winning by 9.
9, even maybe 10, 9
right?
plus.
So if that's the case, it bodes well for the cover, right away. Even when you look at Matt LaFleur's record, right? This season, the Packers are 2-2 against the spread as dogs. In Matt LaFleur's head coaching career, he is 24-12 against the spread as an underdog. So it does actually bode a little bit better for him. So it is pretty solid. That being said, this season particularly, it is a bit of a interesting endeavor. Okay, so when LaFleur actually plays good teams, right, it's a bit of a mixed record, right? So he is 28-17 versus teams above 500 straight up with the Packers. The issue, he is 0-3 against the spread in that particular situation this season, facing none other than the Lions, the Texans, and the Vikings. So those are 3 elite teams. He's 0-3. I mean, you look at it from that angle, I think it becomes very important to note that, yes, Love and Goff have similar kind of setups. You know, you have Matt LaFleur having his hot hand, sure. But at the same token, you also look at Lions' performance after Thanksgiving. Detroit has won and covered 4 straight games after Thanksgiving. So since 2005, Lions are 10-9 against the spread the game after Thanksgiving. All right? To add, strength to that, Jared Goff has finished over 500 or better at home in 6 straight seasons and is 4-2 this year against the spread. So this is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And keep in mind, folks, this is back in Detroit, indoor.
Yeah.
Again, and last week they played Chicago, where they made a bit of a comeback at home on Thanksgiving. Prime time. The spread was double digits.
Yeah.
They won by 3. That is almost a disrespectful insult to the Lions.
To themselves, yeah.
To themselves. So after the Lions, and so here's the interesting statistics. After the Lions failed to cover in their previous game, Jared Goff is 15-4 against the spread with Detroit, including 10-2 at home.
Yeah.
It is, knock on wood, but it is almost guaranteed at this point that Goff and the Lions, after winning but not covering last game, are coming back and they're hungry.
Oh, they're coming with vengeance.
Like, they were supposed to beat Chicago last week by double digits. They didn't. They almost lost at home on primetime. Goff and company is not letting that happen again. And they're going for the jugular.
Ooh.
And I'm calling also Detroit -3. Lock that in.
Lock it in, Lions.
So you heard it here. Alnoor and I are both rolling with Detroit -3. Lock that in. It's going to be a great game. Love versus Goff. Always a great game. But let's get into the anytime TD props.
Yeah, let's get into it right away. We have Montgomery and you have Gibbs in the running back. Detroit loves to run the football. But what we're going to take is a little surprising, but not really surprising. Like I said earlier, Green Bay Packers secondary on that defense, they're missing a few pieces of like very good and valuable pieces where we think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to find the holes and Goff is going to, thread the needle and, he's going to score a touchdown. He didn't have one last week. Laporta had it. They ran the football, but that was about it.
Yep.
Amon-Ra, wasn't found. He wasn't there. His name wasn't called on the Jumbotron. Tomorrow, his name's going to be called on Jumbotron. He might even be the first touchdown scorer, too.
I wouldn't be surprised,
We can sprinkle that on there. But at 2.05 times your unit, anytime touchdown scorer, Amon-Ra St. Brown, lock it in.
There you go. So anytime TD, you got the wide receivers picking that up tomorrow, which gives us to our 3-leg parlay.
Ooh, let's stay hot.
And this kind of, hey, we're on a bit of a streak here, right? So we got our anytime TD hit last week.
Yep.
Or in our last episode. We had our parlay hit our last episode. Let's see if we can make it 2 for 2, shall we?
Let's do it.
So our parlay speaks to the fact that Amon-Ra is going to pick up a TD, and that comes out of the hands of Jared Goff with 2+ pass touchdowns.
There you go.
So lock that in. And then who do we have next?
We got Kraft. We got the tight end from Green Bay to have 30+ receiving yards. Jordan Love's going to find him a little check down. We feel like that might even happen in the first half.
Yeah.
And then our last pick we have
Reed, wide receiver 1 from Green Bay Packers. Just 3 or more catches.
That's it.
3
Simple.
or more catches. For the wide receiver 1, it should happen.
Yes.
Even if it's a quick slant route, whether it's in the end zone, whether it's, just trying to get that 3rd down conversion.
He could lose yards, get yards, just 3 catches.
Just 3 catches. 3 catches.
All we need.
All that for a nice, healthy 3.1 times your unit. That is going to be, I think, probably one of the easier parlays we've done.
Yeah, I think the one we had last on the previous Sunday was a little tough, but also easy too. But yeah, let's double it up, flip it over. Let's hit this parlay again. I'll remind you again, we got Goff 2 touchdowns, Kraft 30 receiving yards, and Reed to have 3 catches. 3.1 times your unit.
Easy.
Let's do it.
Lock that in. Ride with us and tail with us if you can or if you want. We're definitely feeling a little hot from last episode, which gets us to our last part, which is our daily fantasy lineup for tomorrow's game. So, quarterback to kick things off. Between Love and Jared Goff, we're rolling with Goff.
We're rolling Goff.
I mean, lock it in. He's come back with a vengeance. He's throwing for the touchdowns. It's going to be at home.
Yeah.
His history tells it itself. Goff, lock it in. Running back, who do we got?
We got Montgomery here. After Gibbs, leaking out some plays, I think he might find himself in the doghouse maybe. Even though it hasn't been leaked, it's kind of a disciplinary action.
It is.
Montgomery's going to come out. They're just going to feed him. He's just going to run away with it.
Yeah, I think so. Which leads us to our wide receiver. Going to see a little bit more of an emphasis, which we spoke about already.
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Picking up a TD tomorrow, just watch and see. Picking up some yardage, good PPR catches. This is going to be a big game. Amon-Ra is going to be the beneficiary.
There we go. And then we got our tight end. We're also going to help our parlay. We got Kraft. If Kraft can get 30-plus receiving yards, maybe throwing a touchdown in there too from Love. Hey, fantasy points right there for the tight end position.
That'd be huge.
And then we got what defense, Irshad?
I mean, we think the defense is going to belong to the Detroit Lions,
Yeah.
clamping down from last week's debacle of letting Chicago come back.
Yeah.
They're going to clamp down. I think you have McCarthy really coming down and saying, "Yeah, you guys have to close up here." Dan Campbell, my bad.
Yeah, Dan Campbell,
my bad. So, defense is probably going to clamp down. So, Lions, we're taking the Lions to hold it down for tomorrow. Hence where it gets us to our kicker for...
McManus. Got Green Bay kicker.
Yeah.
I feel like Detroit's going to put up some points. Green Bay wants to, feel good about themselves and
Yeah.
be like, hey, listen, we need to put some points on the board. It's going to lead to some kicks. McManus is going to, keep them in a little bit, but I think Detroit's going to run away with it in the second half.
I think so. So, you heard it here. Locking it in. Quick recap. We're both calling Detroit -3.
Yeah.
Anytime TD, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
There we go.
Our parlay.
We got Goff 2 passing touchdowns. We got Kraft 30 receiving yards. Reed with 3 catches times 3-year unit. And we go straight into fantasy with Goff as our quarterback, Montgomery running back, Amon-Ra as wide receiver, Kraft as our tight end, Lions defense, McManus kicker.
And there you go. Quick, easy, simple. You heard it here. AIM Sports. Lock it in. It's going to be a good game tomorrow.
There we go. But before we sign out, we got to let you guys know
some of the games of interest.
Yes, games of interest we're going to have. I'm going to throw one out there right away off the bat. We are going to go with the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Ooh,
Sunday night window, primetime game. This is going to be a fun game.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game.
Yep.
I'm going to throw one out here, and I'm going to call Bills and the Rams.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an interesting game. They're going from a cold Buffalo to a nice, sunny, warm LA in LA. It'll be an interesting game. How Josh Allen reacts. It's Allen versus Stafford, 2 tenured quarterbacks. See how that goes.
Yeah, another big game here, too. This could be decided division leader. Seahawks, Cardinals, Seattle, Arizona playing against each other. Seattle owns 1 game ahead of them. Arizona took a loss last week. Maybe if Arizona comes out to win, they're tied for the first division in the NFC.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's going to be a big game right there, too.
I like that. That's gonna be a good game. Another game that's actually pretty interesting to me is, funny enough, the Bengals and Cowboys. Monday night primetime. I'm not going to lie. They're both third in the respective cross-division, cross-conference. I think it's just going to be a good game. Burrow, I don't know about Cooper Rush, but Burrow just kind of coming in for a little bit of redemption after the Pittsburgh loss.
Correct.
It'll be interesting to see how he plays.
Another game, too, here is a former player coming back to what he played for before. We got Kirk Cousins coming back to Minnesota. We got the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings playing against each other.
Good game.
Atlanta leads the division right now. If I'm not mistaken, they do. They're 6-6. Minnesota's 1 game behind Detroit. Also depends. But if Minnesota gets a win, they're a closer chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Atlanta gets to win, they're closer to clinching the division, making the playoffs. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
That's going to be a fun game. Another fun game that I think is going to come out is, and I think it's going to fly by a sleeper game, is going to be a divisional matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And sheer reason, Browns aren't making playoffs.
Well, Cleveland beat them last time, too.
Hey, that's true. That's true. Cleveland did win.
Thursday.
They did win. But what I will also say is Cleveland actually has a 2-1 on the division record.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a fun game to watch.
100%.
Right.
Well, there you guys have it. Our games of interest that we have for next week. Tune in to see what games we've picked and what our spread is and what our picks are. But for now, we got Thursday football. We got the Detroit Lions -3.
Yeah.
Tail our parlay. Bet what you can afford. Responsibly gambling. Enjoy your time. Get your popcorn ready.
Have fun.
Have fun. Cheeseheads might get eaten tomorrow. Let's see.
All right, well, I'll see you by the Lions.
By the Lions. There you go. From Abe Sports, we out. Peace.